was a broke fitness coach with nearly $0 to my name. Today, I have just completed my certification with She Sells with Brooke, and I'm on my way to landing my first remote sales job, making $20K per month minimum. But here is what no one will tell you about remote sales. It's not just about learning sales, it's about rewiring your mind to the version of you that allows herself to be successful, wealthy, and powerful. I'm about to share with you the 3 lessons that I learned along my journey that took me from self-sabotage to believing that my success is absolutely inevitable. If you're thinking about remote sales and you don't know where to start, or you want to know what it's like behind the scenes as a student inside She Sells, then this video will either make you go all in right now or save you thousands of dollars. Let's rewind it back to why I actually started with She Sells with Brooke. Now, there are so many remote sales training programs out there by men, by women, but what I wanted specifically was a woman's touch. I wanted to learn sales in a way that was empowering, ethical, uplifting. I wanted to be a part of a community of women that were building each other up. Now, I had all of those skeptical thoughts that held me back for 2 years. I was looking into remote sales for 2 freaking years, thinking maybe it's not for me. Maybe those girls got lucky. Maybe they're just special. Oh, I'd love to make $20K per month or more. But who am I to want that level of wealth? So when I actually hit rock bottom in my fitness business, She Sells remote closing was calling my name like it had every single time there was a hiccup in my business. And now I don't want to go into my whole fitness business story, but essentially it was up, it was down, and every time it was down, there was this voice in my head, this feeling in my gut that said, remote sales. Do it, girl. But every single time I heard that voice, I also heard another voice of, well, what if you fail? Just stick out what you're doing for another 6 months. Now, this is what we call cost of inaction. Consequence in sales is when you don't actually look at what is the cost of staying exactly where you are. So for 2 years, I never looked at that cost. And you know what? For 2 years, nothing actually changed. So when I hit rock bottom, I was like, right, okay, it's time to actually go all in. And that is when I found Brooke. Tash, the podcast. She Sells with Brooke. And I realized that these women weren't just ethical. These women weren't just empowering. That these women had sales skills like I'd never seen before. I was in awe of their ability to communicate confidently, powerfully, support and help other women or other people into a life that they're holding themselves back from. And as a woman who did that for years on end, if I can be that woman that guides another woman into their highest timeline through joining a program that's going to serve them and their future self, that is what I call an honor. That is high ticket remote sales. So I'm just going to simplify this. My expectation of going into the She Sells program was pretty zero. I had not a lot of idea of what I was getting myself into. I'm not a logical thinker, which means I wasn't about like, how many classes, how many hours do I need to do? I was just like, I want the destination. I want the end result. I want to be financially free, time free, location freedom, and I will do whatever it takes. Sign me up. Count me in. So, going in, I had 0 expectations. But my goal when it comes to the program itself, I've never been in a program quite like this. The level of effort, love, thoroughness, attention to detail that Brooke and her team have put into this program, chef's kiss. I cannot explain. The step-by-step path is so clear. If you just show up and you get out of your own freaking way, you can't help but be successful. Enough said. So starting with my first key takeaway, if you want extraordinary results, you have to do extraordinary things. You cannot want extraordinary results and do ordinary things. So for me, that meant I was quitting my business. I was closing it down. I was going all in. That is not an ordinary thing to do. Most people have one foot in one door, one foot in the other, and they're trying to juggle both things and then wait till they have success in one thing before they take the leap and they close the other door. That's not my style. That doesn't make sense to me, and that's not what I did. So I went all in. I turned up to every class that I could, 20-something classes per week. I put my hand up. I had no idea what I was freaking doing, but I was like, right, hot seat me, role play me, put me in the driver's seat. I need to learn in real time. And sometimes that meant that I failed miserably, and sometimes that meant I freaking succeeded. Key takeaway number 2 is a mindset is everything. I believe in consistent action and discipline. You have to show up and do the work, but I also believe that if you don't have the mindset, you're not locked into that version of you who's already done the thing, who's already the remote closer, then you can show up and put your hand up, but the level of confidence that will ooze out of you will be completely different. Confidence shows. Clarity shows. Clarity and confidence comes from choosing who you want to be, not waiting for you to hope and pray that you become her. So I did the mindset work to ensure that I believed I was the high ticket closer before I even did one assignment, before I even did one exam, before I even showed up to one class. I was working on that mindset because I know that when I think like a remote closer, I think like a winner. I naturally, therefore, act like one. Execution over speed. I was happily shocked to understand that 7% of what we say is what's registered in someone else's mind. 93% of what we say is our tonality, our cadence, our body language, our facial expressions. And that made me understand it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that also means it's not what you do, it's who you're being when you do it. Now, as a girl who loves to yap, I thought, you know what, I'd be great at sales. Firstly, it's how well you listen. And then secondly, it's how well you express and convey the energy behind what you're saying. So sales has taught me that if you focus on your skills over how quickly you're going, the irony is you actually get there faster. So focus on execution and consistently just compounding your ability every single day, every single week, and you will get there 10 times faster than anyone else will. And you'll also be 10 times more skilled, which is great for the ego, but also in sales, that's what makes you money. That's what helps you help other women. So what are the challenges that I faced along the way? Okay, I was fast as at completing this certification, and I completed it with flying colors. Did I have fears? Did I have doubts? Absolutely. So I talk all about how mindset is key, but I haven't really spoken about where the fear and doubt had come in. Am I immune to that? No. So what do I do when I feel fear and doubt? I feel the fear and I do it anyway. I reframe, I rewire, I acknowledge it. I let the elephant in the room. You only have to feel a feeling for 90 seconds before it dissipates. That means when you're feeling fear of what if I fail? Or in my case, it's that, and what if I outshine others? I've always had this belief that you can be this good, but not this good. You can be good at one thing, but not everything. So I've always had this fear of, I don't want to outshine other people. I don't want to make other people feel bad. And then simultaneously, I've also had this fear of, I don't want to fail. I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to embarrass myself. So as I came into this program and knew that I had to get out of my own way and embrace my skills, my talents, my ability to succeed, and I had to own that. And I also had to simultaneously own failing, because how else will I grow if I don't even try and put myself out there? So those were the two fears that came up time and time again. And the way that I dealt with it was through reframing my mind. I anchored fear of failing to failure is just feedback. And I anchored fear of outshining others to when I am in my light, I inspire other women to be in theirs too. If you are a woman who isn't afraid of the mirror being held up really closely, If you are the woman who is obsessed with going all in on herself whilst helping others go all in on them, if you're a woman who also wants time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, then this is your path. But do not be mistaken. Hard work is important. It is absolutely key. You have to show up and get it done even when you don't want to. So this has been my honest insight into my journey into remote closing, becoming certified with She Sells with Brooke. And if you want to know what's next, I'm currently in the process of trialing my first account, and I will keep you updated on how that goes. And finally, I want to get to know you. Are you in remote sales? Are you looking into it? What's one belief that you want to shift from limiting to expanding? And I'll make a video to help you on your journey into becoming the woman that you said you would be.